Alright, welcome back everyone for another video. So, in my last video I had did Genesis 3. And I had also told you guys I was starting a new Bible study that would take 2 years to do by the Blue Letter Bible Study. It would be reading one chapter a day, and I think it said it was, oh gosh, I don't have it on me, a couple verses, or a couple chapters of Genesis per day as well. So the way I kind of figure I'm going to end up doing it, excuse me, oh there it is. So yes, it would be like 3 chapters of Genesis and then 1 chapter of the New Testament. And right now I'm working on Matthew. So I'm just going to basically be reading the Bible, the Genesis and Matthew, as if I was reading like a book. Not really taking so much notes as I would, like I currently am doing, and just kind of like make a little note in the margins. Excuse me. Make a little note on a notebook, but not actually take on full-on notes. And then at the end of the week, I would compile all of my little notes here and there and actually do my actual notes on everything I read that week. That is the only way I can see working with this Bible study plan and still doing the notes I want to currently do. But that means unless I'm doing a video every single day or multiple videos a day, or doing multiple videos a week, or even doing multiple chapters in a single video, I am going to get really behind in my Bible study videos versus my Bible study plan. So I'm just going to have to stick with the fact that I am going to be behind on my videos, and I will just do my videos at least once a week. Old Testament and New Testament, try and get them together in one video. So like Genesis, like today I'm going to be doing Genesis 4, I think it is. Yes, I'm going to be doing Genesis 4 today and Matthew 1 today, since I got pretty much not a whole lot of notes on both of those to make it into a single video and not make it too long. The other thing I'm going to tell you right now to do is I'm going loosely based off this. Okay, loosely. I'm going to try and stick to it as best as I possibly can, but life happens and I can't guarantee you I'm going to be able to read, let's just say, I'm not, okay, I'm already on Genesis 12 right now. I'm starting 13 today, so I'm already kind of ahead of Genesis, but I'm already technically behind on Matthew. So I'm going loosely based off this because of the fact is that life does happen. I do have other things I gotta do. I am starting a new job this coming Sunday, so I may or may not be able to make this 2-year plan. It might go a little over, but I'm going to try and go based off this as best I possibly can according to my own schedule. If for some reason I can't make this reading plan and all I can do is like Genesis, or I'm having to divide Genesis up between that day and the next day in order to make it work, I'll have to do that. But I have to go based off what I possibly can do and how much time I have. Especially since, like I said, I really do want to do notes on these too. I don't just want to read it like a book. I mean, that's currently what I'm doing, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually read it and actually understand it and take notes on it. That's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to go loosely based off this, but at my own pace. So, like I said, I will put the link of this in the description below, this one and my previous video. Excuse me. So if you guys think you guys can do this in 2 years, by all means go ahead. More than likely, this is going to end up becoming like a 2.5 year for me. So, alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going off of Genesis 4 and Matthew 1 today. So I'm compiling both of those together because, like I said, I didn't really take a whole lot of notes on Genesis 4. I took more notes on Genesis 4 than I did on Matthew 1. So I'm going to go ahead and get into Genesis 4 first. Then I will go ahead and give you like a 5-second pause, you can pause it, just leave like that. And I will then jump into Matthew 1. Alright, so if you guys have not read it, go ahead and go read Genesis 4. That one is pretty simple. It's literally about Cain and Abel and how Abel ended up killing Cain. Yes, Cain killed Abel. Did I say it the other way around? I don't know. Alright, so literally the Bible the Testament, this chapter starts with right after, what did I just feel? Feel something on me. Adam and Eve had just left the garden, and Cain and Abel were born. Abel was a shepherd and Cain was a farmer. So one day Cain brought the offering of fruit, and Abel brought the firstborn of his sheep. Now, for some reason, Cain's offering was not accepted, and Abel's offer was. And God did not respect Cain's, but Abel. So my first thing was like, why? Why did God respect Cain's but not Abel's? I mean, why did Cain not accept? Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. Why did God not accept Cain's, but he did accept Abel's? Because Abel's was firstborn sheep. Now, I have a couple of reasons why. But I'll get to that in a second. So first, after the fact that his offering was not accepted, Cain took Abel out to the fields and killed him, and then God asked him where Abel was, though he already knew. And he was just trying to give Cain the chance to admit or not. The dogs are just all walking around out there. But just like God had predicted, or obviously he thought he knew he was going to do, Cain completely denied where Abel was. That was the first lie. So this upset God, and God cursed Cain for that very reason. So I want to read this one part. Okay, so sin lies and waits at our doorstep, our feet, and his desire is to get us, but our job is to rule over it, not let it get us. So here's a couple reasons why I think Cain's offer might not have been accepted. So the first thing is God's sovereign choice. He chooses to accept Cain's offer, or Abel's offer, and not Cain's, with no explanation. That's kind of self-explanatory. Okay. Now, non-blood sacrifice. That would be the second one. So the offering was not a blood sacrifice, and at the time, blood sacrifices was the only offerings that God received. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed too, but this technically stops right as soon as Jesus' death. Poor quality. Abel brought the best of what he had, which was fruit, which was the firstborn of his sheep, while Cain brought a poor quality offering, which was his fruit. But he was a gardener, okay? He was a gardener or farmer, and Abel was a shepherd. So, he brought what he could. So, but technically that is considered poor offering, considering the fact that his brother brought a firstborn sheep. Attitude. Cain's attitude, rather than the specific offering that he brought, may have resulted in the rejection. So Hebrews 11:4 says that Abel offered a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. Alright, so Hebrews 11:4, wrong one. Numbers 35:29 through 34 describes how the blood of unpunished murderers defiles the land. So God cursed him and amplified Adam's curse. So as you guys know, Adam's curse was that he had to work until the ground, until his death. So God amplified that. So bring forth food from the earth would be hard already for Adam, but near impossible for Cain. On top of that, Adam was driven from Eden, and Cain will find no resting place anywhere on earth. God literally amplified Adam's curse onto Cain. Now, Cain doesn't feel bad about his sin, okay? So he doesn't feel bad about murdering his brother. He doesn't feel bad about any of that. What he does feel bad about is the punishment. I'm not sure here. Hold on, give me a second. I didn't have Genesis actually open. So here. Okay, where is it? Says, I am lost. Okay. So yes, Cain made things. It says, in verse 13, he says, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me out this day from the face of the ground. I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth. And it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me." So as you can tell, he doesn't feel bad about killing his brother at all. He doesn't feel bad about that at all. He doesn't feel about lying, killing his brother. I mean, literally, this is technically the first murder too. He doesn't feel bad about any of it. It is kind of sad actually. Most people, most normal humans would feel bad about killing someone. I mean, I would. But he doesn't feel bad about it. What he feels bad about is the fact that he is being severely rude. He's being severely punished. Worse than his father. Because his father was driven on Eden. He was meant to work the ground. Can you please get off here or shaking this table? Thank you, you freaking retarded cat. I'm pretty sure you messed up the microphone too. But yes, he feels bad about the fact that his punishment is just too great for him to bear, and that someone is going to eventually try and kill him. So, if you guys notice, if you guys take a look to modern times, this attitude had extended past Cain. So many people will end up feeling bad about their punishment and not the actual sin. Have you not noticed that? How that seems to be quite regular, quite normal these days. People do feel bad about just sinning. They don't feel bad about the actual sin itself, just the punishment that comes with it. And that's what I mean by they feel bad just about the sin and quote unquote sin. They just make it seem like they feel bad about the sin. So Cain's upset that anyone who finds him will kill him, and God didn't want anyone to kill him. Maybe because the population was population was low. I can't remember. And just started out, or maybe it was because of what is to come from his line. And later on down the line, we do have some relatively famous names and people that come from Cain's name. So to keep people from killing Cain, God puts an unknown mark on him that was meant for protection. It doesn't say what, it just says, "And the Lord set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him." So anyone who did kill Cain, vengeance would be taken on them sevenfold. So basically times 10. So whatever they do to him is going to come back onto them. So Cain moved away and married obviously his sister, because at the time there wasn't any other siblings, there wasn't any other people. It was just him and his sisters and his whatever thing. So a daughter of Adam. So Genesis 5:4. Where is it? Oh yeah, there it is. It says, after he begot Seth, and this is talking about Adam, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. So yes, when Seth married, he married one of his sisters. Kind of disturbing. So marrying his sister was against the law of God, as said is Leviticus 18:19, or 18:9, 18:9, 18:11, and 20:17, and in Deuteronomy 27:22, which aims at half-sisters. But this was before God spoke to Moses. It spoke the whole entire law. And not to mention, too, you kind of have to have people come from somewhere. So you just can't just like, I want to produce another person. Here's your wife. She's not related to you, but here's your wife. Okay. Unfortunately, at that time, creation was already over. So in order to populate the earth and everything else, you kind of have to start with your inner family. So don't really have a choice. So later on down the line, like I said, when Moses goes and talks to God, and God gives him the law that it's against the law. It becomes, you cannot marry your sister, you cannot marry your brother, you can't marry your half-sister, half-brother, any of that kind of stuff. So Cain then built a city and named it after his firstborn son, Enoch. And from there it goes into a genealogy of Cain. So this is the whole entire family of Cain. So it's a really long list of this. I do want to dwell on a couple names. Lamech was the 7th from Adam's on Cain's side, and his arrogance is contrast to Enoch, who was the 7th from Adam on Seth's side, which is Judges 1 through 14. Okay, I kind of wanted to point that out because I did go looking into Judges 1 through 14. I don't want to get into it yet, but just saying. Lamech was the first bigamist in history, and he took 2 wives. He makes a speech to his wives, boasting about killing another person, and the way he believed he could promise a greater retribution than God. And then this basically just shows progressive degeneracy among the humans, among humanity, and it gets worse and worse. So it's a true oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Devolution. So Lamech here shows a reputation of humans, humanism, whatever you call it, a man-centered perspective. So because of his arrogance and boasting, him and his descendants are never heard of again in the Bible. So Adam and Eve had another son named Seth, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I mentioned Enoch was the 7th from Adam's on Seth's side. So despite how wicked people were back then, there was still some who actually worshiped God, and that was the very last thing that I mentioned at here. So 25 to the end of it, it talks about a new son, and they named him Seth because for God has appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain killed. And at the very end it says, then men began to call on the name of the Lord. So yes, there are still some people, despite how much evil is in the world right now with Cain and his offspring, there is still some good in the people in the world, and there's still some people who are actually worshiping God. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so that is all I have for Genesis 4. I could go into Genesis 5, which I don't really... You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go into Genesis 5. Okay, there's only a little bit of Genesis 5 in here. It is literally just the family of Adam. If you guys know, just take a look at it real quick. Okay, I only kind of skimmed it because literally it is just a genealogy of Adam, and literally that you guys can see, that's my entire notes. That is literally my entire notes on Genesis 5, okay? So it is genealogy of Adam and how long each person lived, how many kids they had, and where history went. So, in the beginning of the chapter, it goes over God creating mankind in his image. Okay, so he created man, male and female, blessed them, and called them mankind in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness after his image and named him Seth. So that is literally the beginning of Genesis 5. Okay, so I believe this specific verse in general, or this section in general, is important for a specific reason. Because it goes over creating mankind in his image. His, God's image. When I got that from a movie. Don't get me started on it. And that's important because Adam begot a son in his image. So, and that's a lowercase h. So, Adam was created in his image, God's image. And then his son, Adam's son was created in his image. So basically, in other words, what it's trying to say is that we are created in our parents' image, who's created in their parents' image, who's long down the line, at the very beginning, created in God's image. So in other words, we're created in God's image as well. So we were created by God out of dust in his image. Now, then it talks about in 21, Enoch. And he lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. I can't say the name, don't even call me. I'm probably butchering it. And after he begot Enoch, and the reason why he pointed out Enoch is because it says in verse 24, it said, Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Basically, it was saying he had a deep relationship with God. He had a deep faith. He walked by faith, not by sight, with God. And it would be, I got some reference points for that. I didn't go exactly into those verses. I did read them, but I didn't go into depth them. So 2 Corinthians 5:7, 1 John 1:5-7, and Amos 3:3. So go ahead and go take a look at those verses, because I believe those verses can really relate to walking by faith and Enoch in general. Now, the only other time Lamech is mentioned is in verse 28. Okay, it says, Lamech lived 180 years and had a son, and he called his name Noah, saying, This one will comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord has cursed. Now, just to clarify, when I first read this, I didn't know he was talking about a very specific Noah, which is why I put in the point is that this is the Noah who created the ark. Okay, the very important Noah. He becomes a very big guy, okay? I've only started reading about him, and he is quite important. So, he is really something to key and kind of point out. And it says, and Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And that is where the chapter ends. So, literally, that is it. It is just a genealogy, and then it goes into Genesis 6 and the wickedness and judgment of man. Yeah. So in literally 24 minutes, I managed to go through Genesis 4 and 5. So instead of me going into Matthew 1 right now, which I will save for another video, I am just going to do Genesis 4 and 5 into this, and then I will do another video for just Matthew 1. So go ahead, I will drop a link to the Matthew 1 in link below. You guys want to go ahead and watch that, you guys can go ahead and watch that, or you guys just go to my actual channel itself and go click on the very top one. It'll be right there in a couple minutes. So I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this study and actually understand it a little better. Alright, bye guys.